change the front shock absorber on a Fiat 500. Start off by loosening the wheel nuts. And then jack up the car. So once you've got the car jacked up and safely supported on actual stands, then we can remove the wheel the rest of the way. So we're going to start off by removing the drop link. So we're going to start off by breaking free the nut first with a 16mm socket. And then we're going to swap to a 16mm spanner and a 5mm Allen key to hold it so it doesn't spin. And then just remove the rest by hand. And that's the drop link done. Next we're going to move on to the two hub nuts, but just before that we're just going to pull this clip away for the ABS sensor, just like that. And I'm going to do the same here for the brake pad sensor, like that. I'm going to do the same for the brake line, but it's got this little clip that we're just going to pull apart. So I'm just going to pull this clip up and out of the way. And then just pull this that way. Might help if you get a screwdriver in behind, just be careful. That's it, so they're all out the way. Now we're going to get a 17mm on this side. A 15mm to hold this side, and then start loosening that. And we're just going to break free the bottom bolt before we fully undo the top one. So again, same thing, get the 17 on one side and the 15 on the other to hold, and then start loosening it off. That's it, and then remove the nut, but keep the bolt in there for now. And do the same with the top ones, just remove the nut, but keep the bolt in for a second. That's it, and we can push those through. one out. And then to get the bottom one out, just do the same. That's it. And now that's free from there. So it's only being held in by the bolt at the top, so let's go to that now. So we're going to unscrew this clip. Pop this up. Just keep that somewhere safe. Move that out of the way. And then this can pop up a little bit. Then you've got this little cover. And that just pops up. And it reveals the nut and the bolt. So get a 19mm spanner and a 6mm Allen key to hold the middle, and then you can start undoing it. I'm going to pull this up and remove it the whole way. Just to give a bit more space. When you get near to the end, make sure you're holding the bottom so it doesn't fall down. Do the last little bit by hand. That's it. And remove this. And then from underneath you'll see that you can just lift it out like that. So we're going to use spring compressors. Put one on one side and one on the opposite side, and just start tightening them down. So this particular one, you use a 21mm socket to tighten these down, and then afterwards, once we've compressed it enough, we're going to use a 21mm spanner and the 6mm Allen key to hold that in place. Just try and make sure that you do it evenly on both sides at the same time, so that way you've got the same amount of pressure on one side as you do on the other. Alternatively, if you don't want to use a 21mm socket or spanner, you can just put a 1/2 inch ratchet or breaker bar in there. And once there's enough movement in it like that, where it's obviously not under tension, then we'll start loosening off the main nut. So this one's being a bit stubborn, so I'm just going to use an impact gun and hold it from here. Doesn't matter what happens to this one, because obviously it's the old one. so sometimes that takes quite a bit of effort. I just broke it free. So because the spring's under tension, make sure you don't aim this like towards your head in case something happens and the spring ends up popping off. Just run a bit stiff again. So. Okay, there's still on a few threads. Before we fully release it, I'm just going to get the new shock absorber so that way we're ready to swap it over straight away. So I'm just going to take this off. Take the nut off the top as well. I'm just going to remove this the rest of the way. So, now I'm going to remove all of these. Just going to get everything a little wiped down. So now we're just going to push this over the top. Give the spring a little bit of a wipe down as well. And I'm going to put that through. And then we're just going to make sure that that sits at the end, just there like that. So you can see the end of it sits where it should do. I'm going to get the top and put that on. That's going to sit like that. Put the top mount on as well. So I'm just going to start doing this bolt back up. Just stand it up now, because that can't ping out because that's screwed on now. So just gonna make sure that the spring lines up at the bottom and at the top to where it should do. And we're gonna put our 27 on the top again and our Allen key. And make sure it's nice and tight. That's it, nice and tight. And just make sure again that it's all lined up the way it should be. Now we can start undoing these clamps. So again, just do it evenly, the same amount on each side. That's it, and then it's ready to go back in the car. So now that you've got it all together and cleaned it off and everything is all in the right place, we're going to go and put it through and put it on. And then once it's up, put your cap over, start threading your nut back on. That's it, and that's on now, so it should hold itself. You can start tightening it back up. If the middle starts spinning like it is now, make sure you put your Allen key back in. And that's it, once it's fully tight. Now that you've got the top in place, you can start to lift the bottom of the wishbone up to try and line up the bolt holes for the hub to the bottom of the shock absorber, and just push it in and get one of your bolts and just try and line it up. That's it. Push that through, and just try and do the same with the bottom one. You might have to wiggle things about a bit. Sneak a little tap. And then get the nuts and start screwing the nuts on. So start tightening it back down. And do the same for the top one. So once you tighten these down, then you can torque them up to 75 Newton meters. So once you've torqued those down, we're just going to start putting these clips back into place. So we're going to do the brake pad sensor. That's it. And we're going to do the brake line. Get pushed back in. And then with that one, it has that little clip thing. So I'm just going to put that on. That's it. Let's push back into place. And the ABS sensor. Now we're going to get the track rod end and put that back into place. So just go from behind and line it up and push it through. Start screwing the nut back in. And with a 16mm spanner, start doing that back up. If the centre starts to spin, hold it in place with 5mm Allen key. So now the centre's starting to spin, so we'll hold it in place with the 5mm Allen key. That's it. Then you can torque that down to 50 Newton meters. And then once you've torqued that down to 50 Newton meters, and we'll go back to the top. then we can get the cap and put the cap back onto here. That's it. We'll get this rubber piece and slide that back in. Just goes over like that. And just push these little plastic things down. That's it. And then just push that back in. And then you get that little plastic thing, clip, and put it back in. So then get the wheel and put the wheel back on. Now we're going to put the car back on the ground and then we'll tool up the wheels. Once you've got the car back on the ground, just tighten up the wheel nuts. And then torque them down and then you're done.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you want more.